In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything that I've crocheted in the last 6 months, except for one thing, because I'm working on it. I'll show it to you at the end, just a little bit. You'll have to wait for the full video to see the full thing, and I still haven't seen the full thing yet because I'm still making it. If you're new to my channel and you like crocheting, because you've clicked on this video, or thrifting, or the 80s, or ducks, why not hit that subscribe button? I would really appreciate it. Here's the thing, you might be thinking, hey Michelle, are you in your room again? Didn't you just buy a trailer with money? Yes, I am in the room because where I live is going through an extreme heat wave right now, and I have yet to install or hook up the air conditioning unit to the trailer. If you're wondering why I haven't, you can definitely check out my trailer Q&A video that I did where I answered a bunch of questions about my trailer, and I answered that in there. Because I have the trailer, I know, I'm supposed to be talking about everything I made in the last 6 months crochet-wise. The thing is that because I got the camper and I did a whole little room makeover where I want to be filming, where I want to be right now, but I can't because of the heat, then you would have noticed that I have taken a lot of stuff that was in here out there, so it's not in here anymore, so I had to revamp it. This is actually exactly where I was sitting before. Like, this is the exact same spot, just moved everything around. Like, right here used to be that big wicker thing. It's over there now with a bunch of books. Behind me was a table. That table is in the thing. Right here used to be a dresser. The dresser's over there now because I don't really use it besides putting socks in, so anyways, that's over there now. I still got to figure out this area I want to change. This I want to like change, but all I want to do is I want to have a little like early 90s, late 80s kind of bedroom where like right where this camera is, like right there, I want to get like a really cozy beanbag chair and be able to watch all these VHSs. These VHSs were from my basement. They are probably 5% of all the VHSs that are currently in the basement that I can get access to at the moment, because yeah, these are a lot of the movies that I have never watched and want to watch, or that I absolutely love and want to keep rewatching. So I'm like, you know what, if I just make this a bunch of VHSs, I'll be able to watch it, because here's the thing, I am subscribed to so many streaming services and none of these movies are on there. Sometimes they are, and when they are, you gotta pay for them. VHSs is the way to go. But anyways, let's get into what I crocheted in the last 6 months. I have most of it here, some of it I made for other people, so I'll put some photos of what I don't have. We're gonna start off in January and go in order to last week. Did I make something last week? Oh, I made a cake last week. The first thing I made of the year was this vest. Do you want to know how many times I've worn this vest? 0. I've worn it 0 times. It's not that I didn't want to, it's just when I made it, I was having like, I don't know if anyone else gets this, it's like after Christmas sweaters are done with, and it's just like, I don't know what to wear anymore. Like, I'm tired of wearing the sweaters. It's January, so it's definitely not nice enough just to start wearing like t-shirts outside, and I was just getting into that like funk of like, I don't know what to wear anymore. I don't know how to dress myself. I made this, but I just didn't know what to wear it for, because again, like, I don't do anything. Okay, I go to work and I come home and then I crochet, and if it's a day off, I go out and get my ice cap, or maybe do a little bit of thrifting, mostly buying yarn, and then I come home. So it's like, I don't know how to dress anymore because I don't do anything that involves interacting with other people that I need to dress for. And like my work, it's too fancy for work. Also, it's like kind of heavy and I don't want to get like super hot because I want to wear something cute. But anyways, I made this. I thought it was really cute. I still think it's really cute. I really hope I get a chance to wear it. I think I give like a 9 out of 10. I loved how I made it. It's so cute. It's actually called the Diamond Granny Stitch, and it's really easy to do if you think it's a little intricate. Also, like, I don't have tutorials on these, but I do have a video for everything that I'm going to show you. So if you want to like kind of see how I did it, I will list them all in the description below so you can click on them. It's just a granny stitch, and you just have to like follow a little pattern of switching up your yarns, but super simple to do. I also just think that the yarn that I picked which was the Lions brand Pound of Love, which again, I love, but I'm kind of straying away from like this like medium weight acrylic yarn just because it's just so hot and heavy, and it's not, I mean, I love it for like the winter time, but I'm kind of slowly getting into more like a little bit of wools, a little bit of cottons. Don't get me wrong, love acrylic. Love acrylic. I will always use acrylic. Like, I love acrylic, but sometimes it just doesn't fit me and sit on my body the way I want it to. So I've made a little bit of a switch. Overall, I still really like this. If you see things moving on in the background like that, like I just moved the cat over and I put that thing there, I haven't got to film in this space because it's not meant to be a filming space. So I'm just trying to like figure out what looks kind of visually interesting for you to look at. So you don't have to look at this all the time. You can look around my room. Next, another sweater vest. This one I actually did wear one time for Valentine's Day. I do have a Patreon. I gotta mention that for y'all. I do have a Patreon, and this pattern is on there. For anyone who isn't following me on my Patreon, I don't create like detailed patterns like you might buy on Etsy. It's just a lot of people ask for the patterns, like the grid pattern, like of me putting these little hearts in. And so that's why I started my Patreon, is so that way I can post the grid pattern. You guys can like take that pattern and put it on whatever you want, and then you don't have to do the calculations or the math or, you know, figuring it out how it looks. I mean, it's like $5 a month Canadian, so it depends on where you are. It might be a little bit cheaper. I do put a little bit of instructions like, oh, like this could be, I don't know, it's probably like 60 or 70 chains across, like single crochets. Like I'll have information like that. I'll have information like for the sides. That type of information will be on there if you're interested in checking that out. Honestly, I really liked how it turned out. What I did different is the bottom of this, usually I will cinch it in a little bit, but I think that's where I don't like the fit of it anymore, because I feel like it goes like this, and I want it to be more like boxy. I want it to be more up and down. It's not too cropped, but it's not really long. And so I think that helped with how I wear it and how I feel comfortable in it. I think I just wore it with, I think it was like a button-up shirt. I give this like maybe a 9 out of 10. I think I would have worn it a bit more if it was a little bit lighter. Again, I probably should have picked a lighter yarn. The thing that always got me is when I first started crocheting, I would pick the most chunkiest yarns to use, because I'd be like, I'll get the project done faster if it's a chunkier yarn. And then I moved into like, you know, the 4-weight medium yarn, and now I'm like, I kind of want to go like a little bit smaller than that, just because the way it drapes, especially crochet. Knitting could be a little bit different. I don't knit. I'd like to try. For the most part, I think having a thinner yarn just drapes on me a lot nicer. So, you know, 9 out of 10 for this. Next up is this one here. I did not actually crochet this. I thrifted this blanket at an estate sale. So yes, this used to be a blanket. I cut it up, and I even like put the little zipper in, and I made the little collar. And what was so nice is that the person who had made this, they put like a little scallop border around the whole thing. So I really had to figure out how I wanted to cut this blanket before I cut into it, because I really wanted the scallop edge on the bottom of it. I wanted it on the sleeves, and I wanted it on the zipper part. Also, thankfully, because I didn't think about it, I didn't think about the collar, because I think at the time I was actually going to crochet just a simple black collar, but I had enough of this left over, and I had enough of it with a little scallop, that I just used a single row of these little granny squares and made this really cute collar. If you want one of these kind of like crochet sweaters or jackets or coats and you don't crochet, thrifting a blanket, especially one with a granny square, because granny squares, they all have to be attached individually most of the time. When it's a border like this and you can see that it's been stitched together, it's really easy for you to kind of like pull them apart and cut that thread. They'll all come apart. And what's great is, especially something like this, you can just cut big squares out and just hand sew them. And even the zipper, I hand sewed in there with this green. You can really see that I am not a great hand sewer, but you can see the green on the zipper there. And I don't even think I had to buy the green. I think I just had the green thread. On the inside, sure, you'll see it, but it blended in with the green out here, so you didn't see it. I give this probably a 9 out of 10. I know I'm giving all these 9s out of 10. It's early. Not everything is going to be a 9 out of 10. This one here kind of gave me a little bit of problem. One, I think it's made out of wool. It's very itchy. It's also made out of really old yarn, because I got it at a estate sale, so I can kind of tell that. When I was trying to cut it apart, it was like falling apart a little bit. If you watch this video, you'll probably remember me complaining because I was trying to unstitch it. It was falling apart for them, so they took it to a sewing machine and they did a zigzag stitch. So that was fun, figuring that out. Making it was a little tricky just because of how it was constructed. Overall, I think this is so cute, and I cannot wait to wear it in the fall time. I'm already, today is the first day of summer, and I already want fall to happen. August even, because August means like Halloween stores are coming, and Michael's gets all the Halloween stuff, so I'm good with August too, so one more month. Next up is a project that I hated. I hated it, so let me just show you it. It's this project. This is made from that Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn. It's the granny square yarn that actually changes colors as you go, so you don't have to tie off any ends. I had attempted to make this so many times, okay? And if you, I have two videos. I have two videos on this because it was so frustrating. If you've seen those videos, then you know what I'm talking about. So the very first one I did, I made it the exact same as the photo on the packaging. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. It didn't work for me. It did not work for me. It was like this. It looked like this on the front and the back. Just no. Like if this was maybe a thinner yarn, I didn't like how it sat on me. It looked like a life vest. I didn't like it. So then in the second video, I took it all apart. Sorry, I'm thinking back to what happened. I took it all apart and then I made another thing and I didn't like it. And then I took that all apart and then I put it back together another way and I did not like it. And then the last time, I don't know how many times I've taken it apart, at least like 2 times, probably more. And then the very last one, all I did was the exact same pattern as like the person in the photo, except I took out 3 squares in the middle. I just took out those 3 squares in the middle, did some ribbing and added some buttons and made it a vest. And that's all I had to do. All I had to do was take 3 squares out, but I took the whole thing apart. But then in the end, I made it this really cute vest and I think I wore it maybe once. This one I give like a 7 out of 10. The final product, 7 out of 10. The first product I did, like a 1. Okay, the yarn was cute to look at, but I hated the shape on me. That's how we got to that. The next one, yes, the next one. This one right here, and I have a love-hate relationship with this, okay? First off, it was a Hobie challenge sponsorship kind of thing, and like at that point I was doing like some Hobie stuff. And this was actually the last project that I have collaborated with them. It's this really chunky yarn that is really soft and I do like it, and Hobie does have some nice yarns. The problem with Hobie is I like to actually go and physically see my yarn in person before I buy it, and Hobie, you can't do it because you gotta order it online. I think it is cute. And I haven't really given it its like day in the sun. I don't think it's ever seen sunlight because I've never taken it out of the house. My cat's been sleeping on it though. It's a great blanket for her to sleep on. And maybe in the fall time, I'll get to it, but you can see there's still a lot of loose ends that I just didn't tie up because I got fed up and didn't want to work on it anymore. But like, it is cute. I love the fall colors. It's a cute sweater. I just didn't get any use out of it. I give it like a 6 out of 10. It's nice. It is that diamond stitch that I did for that vest that I showed earlier. And they look like little flowers. That's why I did it, because it's, I know it says diamond stitch, but to me it looks like some flowers and I really like that. Next up, this is actually my very first top down, I think it's called raglan crochet sweater, where you start like at the top and you go around and around and around, and then at one point for the arms you chain something and then you work on the bottom and then you go back for the arms. There's some really good YouTube videos on it. You can find a YouTube tutorial that will explain it better than I can. And this yarn here is actually the very first time that I used Arcane Fiberworks yarn. They actually sent me this yarn. They sent me some other ones, and I was just thinking about it today because they sent me this one that's very fall colors. And so when fall comes, I am so excited to probably make the exact same sweater but with that yarn. I wanted to try something a little bit more spring, and so I used this, and I think the yarn color was called Fruit Fusion. It's giving very like lemon lime kinda, and I think that it was just a little more yellow than green that I wanted. I think I've worn this maybe once. Here's the thing, I like old grandpa sweaters and I have so many of them. And I love the crew neck sweaters, and I have so many of those. And that is what I was wearing this past winter and like spring when it was cold. It's like those sweaters. And so I didn't really get a chance to wear these, and I feel real bad. Hopefully I'll get back into it. I think I could have made it a little bit longer. That's my problem, I think, with sweaters, is that either I make them too long or not long enough. You know, I give this probably, I don't know, an 8 out of 10. The color choice is cute, but I really just thought there was going to be more green in the palette than yellow and white. And I think if it was more on the green side, I would have liked it a little bit better. Every springtime, I think I did this in like February or March, I just really get into like greens. Next up is this really cute bag. I love this, and I do have the pattern on my Patreon if anyone is interested in it. This is just tapestry crochet. I think it's so cute. Only problem, I didn't put a lining in it. So anytime I put something in here, this bag just stretches down, and it's really difficult to use because then it just looks like I'm like a paper boy and there's just a bunch of newspapers just way weighing it down. What I do need to do is I do need to put a lining in here as well as some type of fabric inside of the strap. That way the lining will take away all of the sagginess that it does. It will stop it from doing that. So I haven't really used this bag as much as I would have loved to. I love this bag so much. It's just, I put my wallet in and the whole bag just like sinks down. So if you put anything else in it, it's just, it's not what I like. And that is why I never really crochet my handles, is because they just stretch too much. But I kind of knew that going into this project. I just wanted to try it. And now I know for next time, just always put a lining in. Always put a lining in your projects, and then that way they will stay the shape that you intended them to be. So this here, I probably give a 9 out of 10. Such beautiful colors, really love it. It's just the sagginess of the bag that just makes it like unusable. Next up is this teeny tiny little blanket that I made for a little teeny tiny couch. I'll put the photo of the couch here. The couch is in the camper. Should I have brought it? Probably. I just didn't want to break it. I crocheted this little tiny blanket, and I think it is so cute, and I absolutely love it. And just with that little chevron stitch, it was super, super fine to work with. I ended up blocking it because at first it was really stiff and small, and then when I blocked it, I stretched it out, and it's very flowy. I have a whole video of me making this and the tiny couch. Also, I give this a 10 out of 10. I think it was so cute. It was my very first miniature little crochet project, so 10 out of 10. And for anybody who's wondering what happened to my miniature series, I made a miniature couch, and then I made this house from Michael's that you could buy for miniatures. I did the outside, and then I stopped working on it. Reason why I stopped working on it is because I got the camper and I started working on a camper. That was the only reason. I also really want to move all that miniature stuff into the camper and like have it all set up, and I just haven't done that yet. Like, trust me, I really want to get back into that series because I want to make the little kitchen and the little living room and like all the little spaces. It's just the camper kind of came first, and then it got really hot out, and so I haven't really been out there yet. Like, I really want to spend a lot of time in that camper. I want to get the internet in there. I want to get all this stuff, which I did discuss in my Q&A video about the camper. It's just I haven't done it yet. I know. Next project. This one here, and this is also the top-down sweater, except it's short sleeve. That green sweater I showed you, I did the exact same thing for this, except I just stopped at one point and didn't continue on with the sleeves. This is actually the Cloud Cakes. Yeah, the Cloud Cakes Caron, and I bought all the colors. I bought like all the colors because I want to make more of them. But then, you know, like other projects just get in the way because I want to make the other projects more because I've already made one and I don't want to make it again. Kind of the reason why I don't sell my projects is because I only want to ever make one and then I never want to make another one again. It's really soft, really lightweight. It's kind of the reason why I like doing these top-down sweaters, is because usually when I make my sweater, I do single crochets and it just gets really bulky and heavy, whereas this I believe was double crochet, and because of that stitch, I mean, I could make my sweaters double too. Because of that, it's just very nice and light and airy. I think I give this like a 9 out of 10 just because the bottom of it, this is the way the yarn is, there's not a lot of stretch in it, and when I did the bottom ribbing, I think I might have made it a little too tight, so it's just a little, I mean, like, it doesn't look tight the way it sits, it's just awkward. So I really want to redo the bottom of it, but I also don't, because I feel like this is the type of yarn that if you try to, like, you know, undo it, it's just gonna get all knotted together. Overall, I think this is really cute, and I think this will be perfect for the fall time. Trust me, fall is my favorite season, and that's why I'm like, these will be perfect for the fall time, because that's when I actually like dressing nice, is the fall time. Next up is this project here. This is actually my very first project where I did the technique called intarsia. If you've seen me do like tapestry projects, like on my sweaters and stuff like that, I usually call them tapestry because I'm not switching out the yarn, like say like this here, I'm just kind of pulling the other yarn behind it. For intarsia, you don't do that. Intarsia, basically, the front looks the same as the back, because when you switch a color, you drop your color, you pick up the new color, you do a little bit, you drop that color, you pick up the next color, you do a little bit, etc. So then that way you don't have to put a lining in. But of course, I put a lining in because, like you saw with the green bag, it's not gonna stretch. And I did put these little straps on too. I don't know if I clearly showed it, but it's circus animals. It almost looks like a baby blanket or something. I absolutely loved it. This is called a yarn bobbin, and it almost just kind of looks like clothespin, like if you were to, like, you know, squeeze out the like little opening. But basically you just wrap your yarn in here, and then see like how it's not going anywhere, where if it was in ball form, it would have rolled across my room and I would have never gotten it. And so when you're working with intarsia, it just like when you're done crocheting, it just kind of hangs there. And so you'll probably have a ton of bobbins, depending on what color you're using, just hanging off your project. And let me tell you, it might look messy, it might look disorganized, but it was so easy to do, because usually when I do my tapestry project, I have like say 5 different colors and they're all in like all ball formed, and then I have to like untangle them like every time I do a row because they all got tangled up, whereas this, it just kind of dangles there and it doesn't go anywhere. This was my very first intarsia project and I think it turned out pretty nice. Like it looks pretty good, and on the inside, before I put lining in, it also looked really nice in there. This bag here, I actually rate a 10 out of 10. I think that turned out just so beautifully. This is actually from a pattern book. I don't know, my pattern books used to be there. It's actually from a pattern book from the 70s. I think they were just supposed to be like wall tapestries, but I made them into a bag. And again, this pattern is on my Patreon if you want to make it for yourself. When I make these videos, I never realize how much I actually crochet in 6 months. Next up is this one here. This I called like my spring meadow sweater, where you have like the blue sky and then you have like purple flowers and like a little bit of green in there, and it just looks like, you know, a little meadow on a nice sunny day. This I actually did in a collaboration with my favorite yarn store, The Creative Knitter. You know I love that store, and she actually hand dyed this yarn for me. I was really happy how it turned out. It looks so pretty, and this is again the top down sweater. I basically copied the exact same pattern I did for this one. I think it's really cute. I probably give this an 8 out of 10. Think what I should have done. Again, every project there's going to be something that maybe I should have done different. I don't think I have one project that is just like perfect. I don't think so. I think I should have started the flowers like up a little bit more. So I think I went down to the sleeve part and then I switched colors, because to me I'm like, oh, that will be a little bit easier. But what I should have done is I should have started the flowers just a little bit higher, and then also I think I need to redo this collar because it's just a little tight. It's just a little tight and it's a little itchy because I used this elastic yarn. And if you watched my videos, then you know that at one point I had lost that elastic yarn. And so I bought a new elastic yarn, and I think I used it in this one. And I'm like, it turned out okay, but I really wish I had the other one. And then I found it, and then I put it in this. And I'm like, I should have used the new one I bought. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to wear it again because it got kind of warm, and I think I finished this end of April roughly, so hopefully I get some use of this maybe next spring or maybe even the fall time. The next one I made, I actually kind of made it over the course of like a few months. It was like my crochet project when I didn't have a project, and that was just this, which is just version 2.0 of the orange one I made, except for the bottom ribbing, listened to myself and I did it properly this time. I still haven't tied in the ends, and I haven't put the elastic in at the neckline. This is what the neckline originally looked like. And then when you put the elastic in, it scrunches it down. So like the elastic really helps. So if you ever have that problem where the neck opening is just way too wide for you, you can just put some sewing elastic in there and it will scrunch it up like this, so that way it's not so open. I just didn't get a chance to do it. This is also the Cloud Cake yarn. Again, I bought all the colors. Really want to make a purple one next. Hopefully I'll make that soon. This, I probably just give like an 8 out of 10. I didn't finish it, but I still think it's really cute. It's exactly like this one, so nothing too special about that. But I did make those changes that I learned from this one to do, so that was good. The last clothing piece I've made in the last 6 months, but I do still have a few other crochet projects after this one. It is this cute little t-shirt right here. This one got me super stressed out. Super stressed out. This one here is actually a pattern I bought from Justtheworsted. I will link it in the description below if you're interested in buying it as well. It was very simple. You actually worked on it like this, and then you flipped it around and sewed it together. And I actually wore this so many times. I have worn this a lot. And the yarn I picked was from The Creative Knitter, and it's so pretty. And like up close, it almost has this kind of like iridescentness to it, but I don't know if that really comes off on the camera, but it feels like the green kind of shifts color a little bit. I think it's like a vintage DK yarn. I think I used like a 4mm hook But again, because I used a thinner yarn, I used a yarn that wasn't just pure acrylic, it drapes and sits on me so nice. It doesn't look like a box. I feel comfortable in it, and I really, really like it. I think it is so cute. This one here, I actually give a 10 out of 10. Okay, 9.5. 9.5 out of 10. The way it looks, 10 out of 10, but the process of making it was a 5 out of 10. Process of making it wasn't the best experience, not because of the pattern. Pattern, great. I want to make sure that's clear. The pattern was easy to use. I love the pattern. I will buy more patterns from them. It's just, I thought, hey, it's just a t-shirt. I could get it done like so fast. No. I thought I could get it done in a week. I started it like a week prior. It took me till Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon is when I'm like supposed to be done editing the video, and then I can put it up for Sunday. I was still crocheting it as I was editing the video. Like I was editing the first half of the video, but I couldn't film the outro because I was still crocheting it. It took a really long time to crochet, but like a normal amount of time. I just thought because it was a t-shirt, I could get it done fast. Like this I can get done in a week. This, because of how intricate it was, not so much. This is probably one of my favorite things I made so far this year. Next up, I made my cat this couch, and yes, it has cat hair because she actually sits on it. She actually sits on it, okay? If you own a cat, then you know sometimes you buy them something or you make them something and they never want to touch it. She actually loves this. I have to put it down though because cat hair in my eyes, not great. The couch turned out so much better than I could have ever imagined. I kind of wish that I put the florals everywhere. I didn't because it would have taken me too long and I just kind of wanted to move on at that point. But I did the back part in the flowers. I kind of wish I did the seats and the arms in the flowers as well. Maybe if she wears that thing down and I gotta make her another one, then I'll do it. I think it actually turned out really, really good. It's super cute. She likes sitting in it, which I'm so happy. Because there was that moment where I'm like, will she even use this? And she did. And that makes me super happy because I love her so much and I just want her to be happy, and that's why I make her cute little couches because I know she'll love them. Well, I hope she'll love them. And then she did. The couch I probably give a 9 out of 10. I wish there was more flowers. That's the only criticism. Also, I wish I would buy the foam before I started the project. I started the project and then I bought the foam and I didn't realize that how much I crocheted was so much bigger than the foam pieces. I thought I was going to have like the opposite where I would have to crochet more to cover the foam. But if anything, I had less foam than crochet. I didn't have to take that long to crochet everything. That was the only thing, is that I could have crocheted less, which means I could have maybe made some more flowers. And now we're on to the very last thing that I've crocheted. This cake. I made this cute little cake box that you can put your trinkets in. And I burnt myself on it and it's still healing because that was about a week ago. But anyways, I did this. It's actually made out of plastic canvas. This is actually the plastic canvas I used to make this, and I used 2 pieces and I like kind of stitched them together. Again, video for this, I explained it all in there, and then I crocheted all the pieces and then I attached all the pieces together, and then I had made this because I originally wanted to make some like little cherries around here. The cherry was too big, and then I'm like, you know what? That's a strawberry now. It makes a perfect little handle. I love the handle. While I was making this project, I had to redo it at one point because I really just didn't, because this here, which is called the, starts with the B, the bobble stitch, and I actually had put it just a straight across and I didn't like it, and so then I did these little kind of like little arches, and then I'm like, well, I need more things. So then I made this, and then I made little bows, and then I started to make little tiny hearts, and then I got bored at the top. It was too plain, so then I made some little swirly thing, which is just a chain, and I sewed it in. I really like this one. I think this one's really cute. I give this like an 8 out of 10 just because I think I could have done a little bit better. I also wish I would have made it more bigger. I also kind of wish that I made it on a heart shape. That would have also been really cute, but I don't think I had enough of the plastic canvas to do so. I also bought like these round plastic canvases for the bottom and the top, and so I was just like, I already bought them, I'm gonna use them. I just like doing this because it's just fun, so I really like that. If you looked up here, I'm in the process of making this. I stopped like 2 months ago. I just haven't gone back into it. It is Tunisian crochet. It's gonna be a bag eventually, so that's just up there for when I get to it. Currently, I am actually making a top. This is one of the panels. So this panel is gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna put a second panel here, and then a panel on the back, and then some sleeves, and then some buttons, and then a collar. That's one. I've made 2 so far. Honorable mentions, because I don't have them here, but I just wanna talk about them real quick. I did make a star tissue box for my mom. Really like it. There's some little finessing that I probably should have done with it, but for my first crochet tissue box, I think it turned out pretty good. I did make a cake one, but the cake one actually used the plastic canvas, and it that wasn't all crocheted. And then I also made this horseshoe crab for my friend Lily because she loves horseshoe crabs. That one went pretty okay. It's just the pattern that I bought, I wouldn't recommend it. They left a lot of stuff out, and then when I got to the very bottom where it should show you what the finished product looked like, didn't have it there. I was like, okay, I think that's everything I crocheted in the last 6 months. That's a lot of stuff. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.